Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, thank you so much for joining us here on the programme. I just want to begin with news that's developed in the last hour or so, where the Reuters news agency is reporting that President Donald Trump vetoed plans by Israel, by Benjamin Netanyahu, to have Ayatollah Khamenei assassinated. I just want to get your response to that.
Well, we're in this operation against the Iranian regime to remove the threats, and we've said this, that we are operating against this regime that wanted to annihilate us, to end us, essentially, is what they say. And Khamenei tweeted it multiple times in the last 48 hours. Obviously, I won't comment on future plans or specific plans, but we have gone so far and eliminated essentially all the senior commanders in the Iranian regime. And we will continue operating until we feel that we are able to remove this existential threat from Israel.
So are you essentially saying that, Mr. Shoshani, that the Supreme Leader is not off limits?
I'm not commenting about that, and I think that's our Prime Minister also commented about and said that we don't comment about future operation or future options of operations, and we're doing our best at the moment to remove threats. At this moment, as we're speaking, Israeli Air Force jets are operating in Iran to remove threats of ballistic missiles that could be coming towards us imminently. They are targeting those ballistic missile launchers. We are still in this thing. This is an ongoing situation, and we won't be going to specifics of future plans that shouldn't be outspoken.
It does feel like a race between Israel trying to destroy Iran's ballistic missiles and the stockpiles of interceptors that you may have. What is the status of your stockpiles at this point in time? Could it be that you run out before Iran runs out?
Well, we have prepared for this, as you know, this operation for this specific operation for a long time. And I apologize, there's alerts coming in, so we might have to go down to the safe zone.
As you were saying, we've just received a siren just alerting us that there might be a potential attack. But on this point, Colonel, I mean,
I'll answer your question. I'll just say we have planned out for this operation, and when we planned out this operation, we decided we have to do this, not because we want to, not because it's easy, not because there's no risks, not because Iran won't retaliate, but just because we have to. And if we don't operate now, worse things will happen in the future. And when we prepared for this operation, we prepared also with our defense abilities. We are prepared for the different scenarios that may appear. We are prepared to defend the people of Israel in different scenarios, and we have prepared for this. What will happen down the line?
But in the event,
hard to say, but in
the event that you fail and this whole operation precipitates what you don't want to happen, and that is that Iran makes the dash for the bomb.
Well, I think, first of all, we can look at the first 48 hours of this operation where we have pushed Iran's nuclear plan back. Before we operated, our intelligence indicated that Iran is approaching a nuclear bomb imminently. And that is something we can't accept. And we believe our operations have pushed them back, have set them back in that regard, and we're still operating. This is still an ongoing situation. We understand they're going to try and attack us. We understand there's still a way to go, but we have prepared for this. We are ready. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy or simple, but we've prepared for this and we're ready for it. We've had so far, there have been hits, sadly, to our civilians. Iran is targeting our civilians. But we've also been able to defend most of those attacks. Iran has fired many hundreds of projectiles towards Israel, both UAVs and ballistic missiles, and we've been able to intercept most of them, but no aerial defense system is 100%, and that means that some ballistic missiles are going to hit.
And so you've just accepted then that you will have mass civilian casualties in Israel. There is the risk of that.
Well, when you are fighting an enemy like Iran, there's always a risk of casualties. But we saw and we understood very clearly, and what we're watching now is a preview. If we didn't act now, they would have done this to us by surprise in a different time on a much larger scale. So it's not like our choice was between not to have missiles thrown at us or to have missiles thrown at us. Our option was to have this preemptive strike now, or to have it on a much larger scale and by surprise later. We had to operate. We understand it's not easy. We understand there's a risk to it, but that's the right thing to do. And we have an obligation to the people of Israel, the Israel Defense Forces, to make sure that we are not entering an existential threat to the people of Israel.
So what the siren that we just heard a few moments ago was, the authorities here alerting the public that there could be more Iranian ballistic missiles raining over and across Israel, and for people to enter their bunkers. Already we have seen over a dozen people killed. How can you reassure the Israeli public that this is not going to be something that is going to be on an ongoing basis, something that the Israeli people have to deal with, including casualties, and that your interceptors will do the work that they claim and you promise that they will do, knowing there is a risk in conflict that you may not be able to do that?
Well, we have communicated with our people, because the simple reality is the combination of our aerial defense systems with the Home Front Command guidelines, with those warnings like me and you just heard, warning civilians. And when the civilians listen to the warnings, they are mostly safe. Sadly, and it's a sad thing to say, but most of the casualties so far were people who were not in the safe places or not operating according to the Home Front Command guidelines. So the combination of the Home Front Command guidelines and our aerial defense system has been very successful so far. It is not 100%. Fighting with this terror regime, Iran, is not a simple thing. And our civilians are resilient, and we are resilient, our military, and we are currently acting also on the defense to intercept these attacks, but also preemptively in Iran. Israel has done something amazing I don't think anyone has believed we would do. Israel has gained freedom of operation in Iranian skies. We have been operating over 2 days in a row, nonstop in Iranian skies. Our jets are flying over Tehran, locating those ballistic missiles, gathering intelligence, intercepting them before they fire towards Israel.
Lieutenant Colonel Shoshani, you've also killed dozens of Iranian civilians. Israel claims and often talks about being different to the Iranian regime, but you've also left dozens and dozens of Iranian women and children dead in these operations.
Well, I think we are definitely different. I think it's very simple to see how far different we are. Israel is carrying out precise operation over 1,500 kilometers from Israel, and you see a building with a hole the size of a tiny window, while Iran is firing ballistic missiles with 1 ton of explosives in the warhead. These ballistic missiles can explode an entire neighborhood, and they're just firing them at the center of population. Israel is sending their jets. We're sending our people to be above enemy territory to try and do as precise as we can. And we have been very precise so far. And we have even given warnings. The most important thing in the battlefield is to have the element of surprise. We have given warnings,
which is the Lebanon playbook, and we ended up seeing thousands of people dead in your war against Hezbollah last year.
I just want to ask you, Lieutenant Colonel. We have.
I was on the ground in Lebanon.
We have seen thousands.
I was on the ground in Lebanon, and I saw. Lieutenant Colonel, I was on the ground in Lebanon. I was seeing how you were issuing the warnings and not giving people enough time to get out. And then we saw thousands of civilians displaced and thousands killed. But I just want to ask you
we have seen
about
thousands of terrorists killed in Lebanon. Successfully, we've not seen thousands
including civilians, including women and children and civilians in Lebanon.
Israel carried out the most precise operation in history with the Beeper operation. We were able to hit thousands of Hezbollah terrorists without anyone around them being injured. You are misleading your audience. Israel had the most precise
that's
operation against a terror
the
guerrilla
death toll.
army.
The
in
death
Lebanon.
toll in Lebanon in 1 week was higher than an entire month in
Of
2006.
terrorists, of
And
Hezbollah
civilians
terrorists,
were
of
killed.
Hezbollah terrorists who are
Not all of
participating
those
in.
people that were thousands of people that were
We
killed
have
were
to- we
terrorists,
will
and we've seen the
continue
same
to-
sort
we
of
have to go back to the
operations in
script, and I
Gaza as
apologize.
well, where 60,000 people, including thousands of women and children in Gaza,
I
have
apologize.
been killed. But I just
we're gonna continue in a bit. Thank you. All right. Bye.